Welcome back to the official CABSAT podcast powered by Northtelecom. Joining me now is Alexander Jeuck, who is the president and CEO of ICT and SpaceTech Pathfinder. Welcome, Alexander.
Thank you, Ms. Yumna. It's a pleasure to be here and to talking with you here at the CABSAT at the anniversary, the 30th. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you. Why don't you tell our audiences a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your organization?
Yes. So I'm in the ICT and satellite communication and space industry over the last 30 years, working there for organizations in the SATCOM operations business, in the SATCOM construction business, but also application-driven solutions we provided to the different markets. To name it, this was for SES, for Airbus, but also some others. And at a certain point, I decided to start our own company, which was initially started with the help of friends in Singapore. And in the meantime, due to the COVID crisis, I was moving back after nearly 20 years in the Middle East and Asia back to Europe. And that's when a company was founded with the name of ICT and SpaceTech Pathfinder in Liechtenstein. Reason why in Liechtenstein, because in Liechtenstein we find an interesting way in a cooperative approach where we can bring in innovations, people, and that's the idea of the Pathfinder. So we want to bring ideas, demands from our customers to the next level.
Okay, great. So let's discuss these new technologies that we're hearing a lot about, LEO and MEO, yes. and is GEO gonna be obsolete? What's your take?
Yeah. So in general, I'm a big fan of GEO because from a business case perspective, I think it's if you're talking about broadcasting, especially, but also for data distribution in a specific region, GEO will be there, I believe, forever. Yeah, especially if we can improve on the performance of high throughput satellites. Yes, we have an issue a little bit on the latency. That is something which can be compensated or is compensated by LEO. Now, if we talk about LEO, if we want to be precise, we even have to say, okay, do we fly on 500 kilometers or lower? Yeah, there is a lot of discussion on VLEO, very low flying LEOs, because there we can get the latency even further down. But the challenge is in a LEO constellation is it's not a fixed asset. It's in principle on an orbit. And if you want to do real-time data transmissions, you need to build an entire constellation. And an entire constellation is a massive effort compared to a GEO satellite. And therefore, I believe both will be there. On GEO, we will have definitely more players than on LEO constellations, whereby on LEO, we have to differentiate then again on LEO constellations, maybe for IoT companies, because there you don't need to have always real-time services, but in broadband connectivity, I would say there will be 3, 4, 5, maybe from the Western world, but also in China, there are some constellations coming up. I'm not sure what is happening in Russia, but maybe also in future. Yeah. And this is only the communication side. Yeah. We also have to see in navigation, in positioning, in Earth observation. In the old days, we were solving certain problems with hosted payloads, but these days we are having the capability to start independent missions, small sats, and that is a big change compared to what we have done before.
Okay. And on this technology, you're saying that there will be geo and there will be the LEO. Do you think that we will then shift to a more multi-orbital offering or a hybrid offering? How do you see this happen?
Yeah. So, okay, I also want to say we should not forget MEO, yeah, because it's
LEO.
a very interesting combination to have, for example, LEO satellites also communicating to MEO and MEO down to Earth. And what we also see is high altitude platform or pseudo satellites, some people calling them also. I think the industry and the customers at the end of the day will embrace everything.
Okay.
And the question, of course, is can everyone survive in a market which is getting more and more competitive? But I think that there are certain niche segments where we will always see players. And the question is then, where do I get an SLA? Where do I not get an SLA? What is the best effort? And there I see in the domain of system integrators, they are arranging themselves, yeah? And what the customer wants, customer is king, yeah? So people starting, of course, yeah, rule number one, take care of your customers or others will do. So, I know there were a lot of discussions on some of the LEO broadband constellations where customers said, but I want this, I want this, I want this. And then people said, okay, but I cannot offer you an SLA. And then they said, okay, we install both in parallel. You have the SLA, which I can commit. And at the same time, you're having a best effort and hopefully you're having a happy, the best service. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as I said, yeah, embracing in principle the possibilities. Same time, of course, not everyone will survive that. Yeah.
Okay.
And we see a lot of, let's say, the evolution is not stopping where we are. Yeah. We talked about KU band in LEO. We talked about KA band. But the next discussion is then QV band on feeder links. But maybe even on the long term, we see someone utilizing this extreme high frequency bands even on the terminal side. Yeah.
Wow.
We will see.
And you touched a little bit on this issue that the market is becoming very competitive and some companies might not survive.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see this market evolving?
I think it will evolve by partnering, yeah, because to have a proper product mix of LEO, MEO, GEO, I can hardly see a company who has everything in their own hands, yeah. And they will have to partner, but these are chances also, yeah. That's why I'm saying a cooperative approach in utilizing, sharing assets is something I see coming more and more in space. And we also have the same discussion, for example, on the ground segment, yeah, where you're having developments. Of course, it comes more from the Earth observation and other LEO constellation ground station as a service, or seeing a teleport more as an asset, yeah, as a providing infrastructure. And now we have to see, will we have like tower companies in the GSM and mobile world, also groupings of teleport gateway operators in the future? Not sure, but I think it could make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything's possible in this future.
Yes. What is clear for me is it's a dynamic market. Yes, I know people in the old days they were missing or not missing in the old days. Now they are missing this 3 years, 5 years contracts on transponders. But okay, it is as it is. But what I want to say is we will also see more and more hybrid networks, or the development of NTN networks, whereby there, of course, the question is what frequencies we are using. Are we using the frequencies of mobile operators, or we are using the frequencies of the MSS operators? Both is possible. Both has their challenges and benefits, and maybe you also have to say that okay, the market is not unlimited. Someone who catches the market at an early stage has definitely an advantage.
Of course.
On the other side, others may be also learning rather fast how to develop their solution.
Well, thank you, Alexander, for taking time out of your very busy schedule to talk to us on this podcast. And we wish you a very successful show.
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you again for inviting me.
Thank you.